Easy E, how are
Johnny, New Year, same me.
we? Such a motivational start for the first episode of 2025. Same me, same old shit.
Well, we haven't changed. All that happened was the calendar clicked. That's all. We're still the same us.
No,
Like,
hang on. First Monday of the year, people are motivated to get their runs and stuff in. And we always say don't wait till New Year and the first Monday of the new year, the first Monday of the month, but it's here now. So,
okay. Well, this is it. This is the
oh,
first
here we
Monday.
go. Here we go.
This is the gimme. Like, whatever about new. See, this is one thing I don't like. I don't like people who are like, 1st of January, that's it. I'm in. I was like,
Mhm.
you're a bit. Actually, was it the Garmin statistic put up about the body battery is always of all the Garmin users, the body battery on New Year's Day is the highest, lowest, if that makes sense, quantity of low body batteries on New Year's Day, and everyone's like, we're gonna start on New Year's Day, and like, hey, like, okay, you can be mocked, but you're absolutely wrecked tired. So I think it's pretty good to okay, yeah, that first Monday. I don't like when everyone says, "Oh, well, I'll wait till Monday." Yeah, I'll start today. But as a holiday period goes, I think it's realistic. I think the first week of January should be a gimme. It should be
Ease in.
ease into it. Let's just find my runners kind of week. Just let's just see what it's like. But as well at home in Ireland, there's frost and all out there. So you're gonna be looking at slipping and sliding and going for your first Monday run if the frost continues. I don't know. It's 22 degrees here, Sean. I wouldn't know what that's going to be like.
I'm like, my screen's not facing towards the window. You've no idea what it's like over here. But
I
you're
was
not
actually just
wrong. It is,
looking.
it is bad.
I was actually just looking at a beautiful. Do you know how I know? Because I'm getting pictures on my feed of everyone going in, robbing the jacks roll and the bread again. I'm like,
Oh.
oh, do we ever learn? Come on.
Absolutely not. To your point though, because I got art and a few things coming up, my plan was to sub 25K on New Year's Day. Spoiler alert, didn't happen, but I was very proud of it. What I did was I ran for the first time ever on Christmas Day. A very unusual feeling getting up and exchanging presents and going for a run before all the madness later on that day. And then, I had my normal Christmas Day. Rest was at the house and obviously big feed and, a couple of whiskeys along with a few beers and some mulled wine. But I'd said to myself before that, Thursday, I'm gonna get up steams this day. I have no plans. I'm going for my interval runs because I need to get this sub 25K into me. Let me tell you, the
uh,
dumbest idea. The body battery was at 5. I'm like, shut up, Garmin doesn't know what it's talking about. And I went
oh
out for the
man.
intervals right outside the front of the house, and I was just 400 meters up by Neve's mother's house there. I could just see the teddy bear perched out on the porch looking at me, disapproving, going,
Laughing at you.
laugh. If a
Laughing
dog
at you.
could laugh at my pittiness, just trying to catch my breath for 2 minutes, back down again. But the body had never recovered, so I was in a heap. It was probably the worst decision in terms of training I have ever done. I've made a lot of bad decisions, and like the next day, I got dropped up down by the Gap Road between checkpoint 1 and checkpoint 2 for the Art O'Neill. And you told me not to do it, so but I did it anyway. I was afraid of my feet getting wet, and I wore your army boots.
They're
And
not. They're not even waterproof. Them boots, you big mongo.
they, no, my feet were all right, apart from being all blisters because they're two sizes too big for me.
That's because
But
they're not. Them ones you have are not made for the mountains, you lunatic.
I saw boots and my
Oh,
feet got so cold the last time. And I was like, I gotta try and use these. I tried running them again. I can't run them, so I gotta change approach in that. But because my body was in a bad way from the intervals, I'm literally like limping out of the car. My dad's like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" I'm like, "I have to get through this. Just leave me alone." Like limping into the woods by myself as he drives off back down to Wicklow. I'm like, "Well, we'll see where I went wrong from 2 years ago." I didn't do as bad. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of credit. I was actually, apart from doing little circles all the time throughout the night 2 years ago, doing the Art O'Neill, I was pretty close to where I should have been until I just decided to cross the valley for no good reason. Well, no, I know at the time I was told the river would be very high on the east side, and at some stage I went over the west side, and I could just see, okay, that's where I got lost over 400 or 500 meters over that way. So apart from that. I've done what I said I was going to do. I got Recky out. Thankfully, Kara Smullen, who did the preview last year when I put her on the podcast, the notes from what she did from talking about it because I'm in no position to give advice for the Art of O'Neill. She and a few friends did from checkpoint two up towards Arts Cross, so I was able to see all the other ways I would have went wrong. Had I been allowed to go on 2 years ago, I definitely would have got lost up that mountain. That's just it's so steep. It's so steep, and that's the last time I'll ever wear your boots doing that because like there's
That's
like either a running bit for like 2-3K. I couldn't hold a 7:30 pace. I was like, I have to walk. I have to walk. These are too heavy.
like, why don't you ask me before you do these stupid things? Now I have to
Because you're
set up a
spending in
go.
Vietnam.
I have to go get a GoFundMe now to get you a pair of shorts. For just £1 a month, you can stop Sean doing stupid things in the mountains. Oh my God.
I've heard there's waterproof socks. A few people put me onto them, so I'm gonna wear them this
Ah,
Friday. I got it sorted.
yeah, but like the Gore-Tex socks are great. They're waterproof, but then you sweat into them. It's like a little sauna for your feet. They make it all mushy on the inside.
You know how cold it is out there.
You just, oh man.
It's so
Like there's
cold.
sometimes, does your arse get jealous of the shite that comes out of your mouth sometimes, Sean? Oh my God. It's cold out there, so I'm gonna wear waterproof socks. Like, uh, just, do you know what? I really can't wait for your Art O'Neill review. I really can't wait for it again. It's gonna be so. Anyway, I had me flip flops on, and I was going over the hill, and I don't know where I went wrong. It just, oh man, it's pure comic relief. It's
Thank
so
you.
good. I
Thank you.
love it.
That's a good. Yeah, I feel like I'm motivating people their first one day 2025 with that. But
if
I'm a
if
little more
other
confident
pe-
now.
if other people are able to breathe in and out and think for themselves, they're doing better than you right now, Sean. Fair play to them. They are having a great year. Now, my mom was going to ring me and give out to me for this 40-second rant of abuse in your direction, but sometimes you deserve a Sean. Sometimes I just don't know. Like we say, we have front row seats to some of the best tips and tricks. You had Kira on. You're
Yeah.
still you're still doing these silly things.
I have a few. I got a recce. I got two recce's in. So that's it. That's I'm on the way up from last time.
And
I'm
you
on the
nearly
way up from
crippled
last
yourself.
time. Yeah,
Blisters
well,
the size of houses.
but
I
that
can't
was
move.
they're going to be healed up by Friday. They'll be healed up by then. It's
Oh
grand. A couple of
my
blister
God.
plasters, keep your feet warm. It's all good.
So for those doing the Art of Neil, spare a thought for Sean. It'll be on the course. So if you think your day is going bad, just remember Sean is out there with you, and it can't be much worse. But yeah, look, it's exciting. I am excited for you. I do remember, and we have mentioned it before. I went with you up as
Mm.
far as I could up the dark road, and the rain was coming in, the cloud base was coming down, and I've been there, and I just looked at Sean and was like, I wish I could do this for you, bud. Best of luck. See you tomorrow. I'll see you in Glendalough. But
As I
yeah,
trotted off into the darkness, not knowing what I was doing.
let's just hope that it is a good one. And because you were brought into a like we had Ozzy on a couple of years ago, Austin Doyle, that talked about it and spoke about it like it was the greatest night of his life. But Ozzy was
Mm.
also military background, could find his way around a little bit, had a Garmin GPX file as well. But it's look, it's hopefully it goes well and everyone is doing it. It's a phenomenal event. It's so
Mm.
bizarre to sleep during the day and then go to start the race at midnight. I think it's cool. I really do. I do think it's cool. It's like I don't know, going looking for a party after midnight. Like it's just you're just out. It's gonna be a good one. But look, I hope whatever about cold you can manage as long as it stays dry.
Mm.
It should be a relatively good night. Actually, if it does kind of freeze, you could be in a good position. It'll harden up the ground out there, which could be good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard actually, because they've set up WhatsApp groups and stuff for it this time. So people have gone up recce over the weekend and they're like the ground is harder, so it's actually slightly easier to run on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is.
Because
Yeah.
like when I was up, my foot was going through everything, and sure, look, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm weirdly excited for it. I'm afraid I keep pulling myself back because I've wrecked it twice in the daytime. That I'm like, I know where I'm going this time. I'm not gonna get lost. We say any race,
Different
anything
animal.
can happen, let alone,
Dif-
sleep deprived throughout the night. I know from the last time just making so many wrong 50-50 decisions. And that is the fun of the challenge. Like even I used the GPX Requiem and even still I went off course. Don't ask how. Like it's sometimes it can happen
Yeah.
though, because you're like, I can't cross the river here because the river is a lot higher up than it was the day the person that GPX I'm following ended up crossing it. And then whatever routes and stuff that could be mad. There's so many ways to top it across. Like you can gotta go straight up in line with the river, but it's really steep, or you can kind of like veer out and across. It's still obviously steep because you're going up a mountain, but it's not as bad going up. So and like during the night, I might say, sure, I'm definitely gonna go around because my legs will be hacked going straight up. And then I might be like, when I'm that tired, I just want to get this over and done. I'm gonna keep heading straight and head up something I've never went up before and see what happens.
So like back when we did our training and night navigation, it was brilliant. How many people get lost? Like it's so different. It is
Mm.
when you're not like when you've nothing, only a forest edge or a river or a road, and then you've just open space looking at peaks. It like and it's dark if the cloud. It's like it's no joke. And even when you do the recce's by day, when you do them by night, the only thing is you made a mistake with your GPX file during the day. So you'll know you will get that feeling of this isn't quite what I felt or saw, but it's gonna be so different. You won't know. It's that doubt that you'll need. So hopefully there's some competent people around you that you can just hang on to. Uh, but it is good. It's amazing. Like even when you look at the likes of that, that's a real decision to make. Like for me, I'd stay with the river and go with the steep because the river is permanent. So as long as I can
Mm.
hear the river and keep the river to whatever side of my body the river needs to be, I'm gonna get to where I need to be. So that's just one element. If you like, oh yeah, steeper, but you just slow down a little bit. You take your time, but you're less likely to get lost and something like that. When you hug a big feature like that, it's great.
Makes all the sense in the world, but why say that now? Like I don't know what's gonna be along that river. I'm heading up. You're after putting two
Because
things in my head now.
you don't ring me. You don't ring me. You just
There's
go,
no signal in the fucking mountains.
I'm going up in my flip flops here,
I
and I'm
was
gonna give it a
lucky
little
Neve
reggie.
collected me at the right time. I was just like, here, meet me here at 2:15. And I had no signal for the next hour. And I didn't even know if that message sent until I got there at 2:05. We're waiting for age, waiting to quarter past. And thankfully she arrived at quarter past. And then
Do you
as
know what?
she's driving back into Hollywood, I get a message from Neve, who's sitting beside me going, great, on the way. I had no signal.
Do you know what's mad? How unnerving that is. I think we could be the last generation to kind of know what it was like to just give someone a time and meet them there. Do you
Yeah,
know,
that's
like,
the first time I've done that in a long time. Like, yeah.
yeah. He used to just say, meet you at the 12 bus, we'll go into Blanche. Meet you at this, but and it just happened. You just said, well, I said I'd be there. I'll be there.
Mm.
And yeah, now it's like, everyone's always 10 minutes late now that they have a phone because they can tell you they're late. So
Yeah.
but it is great. Like, it's amazing that you're even like, oh no, will Neve not come and pick me up? Well, to be honest, if I was Neve, I'd leave you there as well now, to be
there's
honest. But
there was no signal there at all. Like so, all you have is the SOS thing. At just before checkpoint two, there's like nothing there. So either if she wasn't gonna make it there at 2:15, either I had to hitchhike towards Hollywood and or run towards there and then try and ring her and see what it was. So I had the GPS sent to her, but that was no use because there's no signal. So it's like I had to send her WhatsApp. So she couldn't be able to pick me up or nothing. So it's just like either she's here or not. And I could have messed up, which is very likely that I wouldn't have got there at 2:15. I just happened to text her at the last possible like time before the signal went of, hey, I think I'm on track to make it here for 2:15. Come pick me up. Otherwise, I'd
yeah,
still
it
be
is
out there.
cool. And I suppose that's why people like going hiking. That's why people
Mm,
like, doing trail runs and stuff because for the most part, the choice of connectivity is taken away from you. You have to just go and enjoy and just be and not be worried about it and not checking your phone, not just open it to see if there's a message there. Like habit things. Definitely something I need to get better with
all of us.
as well is just being able to put that bad boy down and not be scrolling on it at night and daytime. I suppose it's difficult when we have an Instagram account and we're trying to reach out to people. We're trying to find funny memes to share. It's more so me scrolling and going, no, that's funny. Oh yeah, we have a running podcast. I better show it out with everyone else. Uh, but it is difficult and it is how I suppose everything is living. But that's why the likes of the Art O'Neill, the likes of Imra, the likes of
Mm,
the various different hiking groups that are existing around Dublin Wicklow at the minute, mountain groups. It is a niche, and I understand the attraction to just getting away. Like there's something so nice about just being in the forest and going, wow. and no phone signal, no distractions, no nothing. Like it's amazing. It is really really good. But and even better, you take away light and you put it in the dark, and it's your own thoughts. It's gonna be brilliant. Hopefully, no DNF this time. That's all we can hope for from you, Sean.
That's the goal.
Uh,
Finish.
yeah. But it's good. It's really, really good. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for everyone who's taken part. Really, really great event. And obviously, still so sought after. The lottery system, there's only so many that can do it. So you're lucky. You're lucky to get the chance. And I think this could be your last. You did have unfinished business. Isn't that what you said? If I finish it, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great event. Now, look, I preface this by saying, I always said I'd never do another marathon after the first marathon, and I finished like, oh my God, I got to do that again. But I do think it's one of those where I'm so out of my comfort zone, my element, that I'm like, if I finish it, I think that's the goal. Like, I'm not a Ricky Wynn. I'm not going to be able to run up these mountains or like, and especially with a race like this, doing it 1 year in like I'm gonna say 12 hours because I'm not putting any expectation on myself. I'm not there to tire low. Let's just say 12 hours. The next year, the conditions could be so much different that doing it
Yeah.
in 12 and a half could actually be a fitter, faster time. Not obviously faster time, but you could be fitter that day. You could have made the right decisions with so much, different weather elements and all the rest, or proper snow up there, and you got through it. Like you don't know what the course is going to throw at you. It's not like doing the Dublin Marathon each year where you can literally go in 2022 at this time, 2023 at this time, or I progressed or got worse for any different reason. It's just a unique challenge in itself. I always wanted to do it because the idea of not knowing where I was going, the navigation thing, scared me and excited me. And then I learned better that I need to use a GPX like most people do in these kind of races. And it's just like doing the first recce and just going up that hill, it was so foggy that like until I was like 500 meters away from the next mountain, I couldn't see it. Like I had nothing there to tell me to go any which way except the sun was in front of me, and I knew to go south, and it was 12 o'clock, and I'm like, just head towards the sun. Obviously, I had it in my watch as well, but that was the only guiding thing I had for quite a while up there. How people go out and just we'll go point A, point B, and get the rulers out and the compass and maps and everything. Or it's just really cool. I find it really cool,
Yeah.
but something I'm not good at.
Yeah, look, it is, and it is a satisfying thing when you do have a little button compass, and
Hmm.
you're just following a direction, and you find the river
Hmm.
that you thought was going to be there, and kind of trusting, and then marking out paces to like it's when you actually do navigate. Like I found it so rewarding because it was instant feedback. It was like playing
Yeah.
pool or boxing. If you're bad at it, you find out pretty good. You either don't put a ball or you get the head punched off you. But navigation and orienteering very much the same. If you're bad at it, it's instant feedback. It's a very very long day, and but it is very rewarding. And the art, I suppose, kind of respect where you were coming from the first year of I want to just try get there, but it was probably a little bit naive not having a map or a
Very nice.
compass or a kind of a thing of what you were going to do. So the GPX would have helped, but or training and orienteering for a
I
start.
had the compass. I just didn't know how to use the fucking thing.
You just about tied your shoelaces on your flip flops that day, Sean. But yeah, no, it's good. It's gonna be a great event, and I've no doubt everyone will be rooting you on. I'll be cheering you on here. I'll be awake probably just as you're starting off, yeah, 4 or 5 in the morning. Yeah. So I'll probably yeah. Actually I won't. I'll be in Italy this week. I've back from Vietnam. I'll be in Italy. I'll be thinking of you.
The adventures of Eric Lawless continue all over the world.
The adventures, like a travel podcast, not even a running podcast anymore. Oh, I
Not that
tell you
many
what
people
though,
could relate. I'll go
I
ahead.
was, I was on my holidays in Vietnam and I was like, right, I can stay cheap or I can pay a little bit more and I can get the hotels with the treadmills and the gyms. So I was like, yes, let's do it. Train over Christmas. It's gonna be great. So the first hotel, the treadmill was the closest thing to a Fisher Price treadmill I've ever seen. It was, it was like, obviously this treadmill was for 50 to 60 kilo Asian people, not 95 kilo Eric to be bouncing on it. It did not feel good at all. The thing was wobbling side to side. I was like, oh, this isn't great. And that kind of theme carried on. And I eventually got to one where we were for about 7 days, but the treadmills weren't working. Two fabulous looking treadmills, neither of them working. But obviously no one uses them. They didn't really care about them. But in fairness to the hotel staff, I asked them, I was like, any chance we can get them working? And they did. It took 2 days. They got them working. I got a couple of runs in, mostly gym work. But you'd think like, oh, you can go for a run outside, but it was raining pretty much most days. But like, the it's not that there's speed with the traffic over there. Anyone who's been to Asia just knows, just motorbikes, buses, they all just kind of like fish that swim. They all just kind of avoid each other, but there's no real organization to it. You just see and avoid, but they do it really well. They're doing it years because it's slow. They don't speed. They just move around. And it was looking at the roads and going, is this really good to go running in the rain, dodging tour buses, trucks, motorbikes? I was like, nah, I think I'll just do a bit of weight training and run on the dodgy treadmill or do an elliptical or do whatever. So that's what happened for the last week. But those who are going on a running holiday in Vietnam, I'd uh, I'd consider it maybe a different tactic on that one. But for the most part, though, yeah, it kept me. The food was great. I had a great time in Vietnam and did my bit of training. Came back actually probably a hell of a lot stronger, fit, definitely healthier, eating well, lost a bit of weight while I was away, which is unusual for a Christmas holiday.
Mm.
But yeah, it's that's a travel update. Follow my travel blog on anygiventravelday.com.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
going to stay away from the treadmill talk because I broke my treadmill again. I put my foot through it. And it was before Christmas dinner as well. So it just basically, the treadmill fat shamed me again. It's like, you're too heavy for this treadmill. So you're done with it. So
it's not that you're too heavy. You just run so heavy.
the
Like
treadmill should have me weight.
I don't know, like if anyone ever just gets the opportunity to run near Sean, you'll know you're beside him. You can close your eyes. You would be great as a guide in one of the Paralympic sports for the visually impaired because they just follow your footsteps. It'd be like a drum. It's just so loud. You just are so heavy on the I'm not surprised it broke. Sure, you've put a good bit of miles in it though, have you?
Yeah, that's the second one I broke. It's gone now. Well, it's still in the other room, but it has to go. The first one I broke it in warranty, and I thought 'cause I had it outside, it was off balance. But this one, I was going for a 30K tempo run, and I was running at 14.8 kilometers, which is like slightly under what you need for a sub 20-minute 5K. And I'm like, I'm owning this. 12 minutes in, feeling great, foot through it, like proper cracked the whole thing. I'm like,
Oh,
well.
crack the base plate.
Yeah, proper, like kind of like it just sloped under now as soon as I put my foot on it. And I was like, right, that's the end of that. I'll go run outside. And I could barely hold a 5:10 pace outside down with the hills and everything else. I'm like, well, I guess
Ah,
I guess I'm
yeah.
not on track for a sub 20. So the sub 25K is the main goal for me for 2025. I'm putting you in the spot, Eric. Is it Barcelona Marathon? Is it got to the Ironman game? Is it just travel the world and have your own travel vlog? What is the 2025 goal for you, sir?
Not get malaria in Mozambique, I think is
That's a good
probably
one.
one of the main goals. So I don't want to like I was sitting there and I was like, do I work out every day for the new year? I was like, no, come on, be realistic, man. You're not gonna do that.
Mm,
Um, you know, 30 minutes a day. I don't know. I think Barcelona is my next goal. I'm gonna
mm,
say that it's the next goal. Will I set a PB? I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna try, but it's all gonna be very much depending on what the new setup is like in Mozambique because that's gonna decide everything. So I suppose I won't know my year goals until I get to the 22nd of January, and then a week later, so the 29th of January, I'll know what I'm dealing with, where I am, and and then I'll be able to make a proper assessment of what my goals for 2025 will be and what facilities are available to me and what where I can go and what I can do. And but for me, yeah, for the most part, I think there is a treadmill there, but we're not allowed to really leave the compound. So it's gonna be very much 6 week training camps. So hopefully that'll be one of my goals. Yeah, look, it's very yeah. I suppose it's actually real embarrassing because it's like, what's your running goals? If you're at home, you'd be like, right, Donady 50K, you'd be on to
mm.
this, you'd be the art, you this. Whereas now it's just like, "Oof, I don't know. I I really don't know what's going to be in store for me. But yeah, but that will be one of them. I suppose for me, what I'm focusing on when I haven't got a goal and something I am going to take serious in this year is my smaller habits. I'm gonna start looking after myself a little bit more in terms of what I'm putting my attention into. So in terms of scrolling for 2 hours in between flights and stuff, just passing time, I just can't keep doing that, you know. So I'm gonna work on my atomic habits and getting back into those little things. Those are probably the goals I'm setting in my personal side that will help filter into if we so I'm going to train hard for the next couple of weeks up until I travel there, and if I get there and there's good enough facilities, yeah, marathon 3:30, or yeah, as long as I beat a 3:35 in Barcelona, it's a PB. So but I'll know in February if that's going to happen or not. I'll know based on the facilities, and then from there I'll have a very definite schedule, and then yeah, there'll be some serious goals set, and maybe even the T100 here in Dubai if it works out in November. If my schedule works out, because it all just depends on the 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off schedule, and see what events can line up with me for that one. But that's what we will look at when it comes. So I'm very boring right now. I'm sitting here going for a jog and reading a book, and that's that's about all my goals. But I suppose I feel very pathetic. Is pathetic probably the right word? I feel,
That's a
yeah,
bit harsh to
probably,
yourself now.
yeah, probably a little bit inadequate, but like I'm still training. I'm lifting a 95 kilo bet. Like
Mm,
still training so well, lifting really strong. I'm probably the strongest I've been in a long, long time.
good.
But when you're on a running podcast and you're like, I'm doing Art O'Neill, I'm doing 50K, and I'm just comic relief. But I suppose it's real life. And there are people who are listening to this who have probably been changing jobs or have probably been doing things, can't get out to do all that they said they were going to do. And that's what it's going to be for me. But I'm really hoping when I get there that there is a good enough setup that at least I can run a triathlon. I can swim, and so the resort itself where we have to stay is on the beach, but it has security guards and armed security guards. So if anyone tries to come in, and I'm just kind of like, maybe I won't go for a 4K swim. Maybe, and the swimming pool looks like a bathtub. So, to say I'm gonna train for an Ironman, I don't know. And that's why I think it's just something to consider. Until then, there will be a lot of changes in me as what I do with my time, and taking myself a little bit more serious, and not wasting much of my time doomsday scrolling and all that we tend to do. So yeah, big plans.
Just on that for a second, just because some people listening, they are going for New Year's goals, and obviously, I talk about I've got different race goals, and you talk about that and try and get yourself sorted. Last year you did 75. Was it last year you did 75 hard?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
That's something that people be coming up now. I have no experience of doing different 6 week challenge stuff. I haven't done 75 hard. If that is something that people have been thinking about, or maybe they're starting, is there anything you would say to them apart from stop? Or no, I don't know what you would say to someone that might do something like that.
But again, like it will depend. I'm not trying to give people excuses. It will depend on your capacity to complete it. Like, because 75 hard is 75 days training,
Hmm.
45 minutes
Is it
twice a
two
day.
45 minutes? Yeah, two 45 minute
Yeah,
sessions.
something like that. And then you have to do some other thing, whatever, whatever, whatever. Right. Anyway, hard. Yeah, it's not easy. There's a soft version where you just train 45 minutes every day for 75 days. What I would say to people is you just have to be certain that if you're taking that on, like if you're taking that on and changing jobs, that's not realistic. Because
Agreed.
one thing about a goal like that, where you have to do something 75 days, twice a day, that just needs consistency. So everything else in your life needs to be moderately stable. And like, because something comes up for everyone. No one has a perfect week. No one has this, but you can juggle an unforeseen. Oh, we have to go to Granny's. Like you can juggle those kind of dinners or whatever it is, but because they're infrequent. But for the most part, Monday to Friday, your day doesn't change, your week doesn't change. Like it's definitely so much more difficult if you've kids, if you've this, if you've that, because priorities change. So I think, in essence, do I think it's good? Yes. It's hard. It is tough. Will you be shredded? We afterwards 100%. Of course you will. You're training for an hour and a half every day for 75 days. Just you just have to be careful of the type of training and how you balance the training. But I would, if I was people looking to be realistic. So if you're consider like, let's be honest, if you're in university in the middle of a semester and you have to do 75 hard, it's going to be very easy to do because the biggest problem you have is probably a night out planned. You'll probably be playing sport anyway, so that's one of your training sessions. You know,
Hmm.
you're consistent. You're there for 3 months, and that's it. That's all you have to worry about. You know, and that's where I say, like, if you're in a very steady job, you know that the next few months you have a supporting partner, you know, whatever it is doable. 100% sacrifice can be made to get it done, but it comes with a lot of pressure of failure as well because a lot of people fail it. And it's
Hmm.
not because the training was too hard, it's because they couldn't make the difficult decision of telling someone whose birthday it was to fuck off and doing 75 days of training. You know, like, and ultimately that's what it is, or something comes up, or sickness, or this or that, you know. So I think 75 days soft, I suppose, if you want to call it that. I don't think it's soft at all. But if you were doing something like that for 30 minutes, if you were to guarantee for the next 75 days you were going to do 30 minutes of exercise every day, then you've no excuse. When you take something like that, like 30 minutes, if you're listening to me now and you haven't pissed away 2 hours a day with a waste of time phone call, scrolling on whatever, watching Netflix, and instead of watching one show, you watch three shows. Like and the reason I say is I'm the biggest culprit of that, but an excuse to not do 30 minutes of exercise, or what I say, like to say with a challenge like this, is focused exercise. It can be a walk with the dog,
Hmm.
you know, a brisk pace, put on extra layers, sweat it out, but go and be active. Like the idea of 75 hard has to be extreme training and stuff. For people who are starting a new year, it's about building habits. Above all else, it's about consistency and habits. When you master 30 minutes a day, then start thinking, maybe I could try the 75-day hard, you know? So maybe doing something realistic, like I'm going to do 10 minutes of an audiobook and 30 minutes of exercise a day. You develop as a person, you educate, and you build consistency in training. 30 minutes of exercise every single day for 75 days will make a change in absolutely anyone. Weight loss, weight gain, if you're looking for strength, you know, 75 days is a substantial amount of time and consistency. And that positivity will breed positivity. You'll want to push on from there. So, and that's, if want of a better word, I haven't called it a 75 day, or I'm not doing a challenge in particular, but for me, I need to guarantee certain parameters in my day between now and Barcelona to make sure I'm strong enough. So if I don't get the quantity of running, at least I'm strong enough physically to make it around a marathon, or and I'm learning something new and I'm doing something else, than just wasting time is a lot of what I'm doing.
On that, I suppose before we wrap up this week's podcast, just want to talk about something that we probably haven't talked about over the last 5 years in this podcast. And because if me or you were in a three-person race, we probably finished fourth. But we would.
You did right.
But over the holidays,
Sean, impossible is nothing. We prove it.
we'd
We
achieve
prove it
that.
every day.
We find the way. We'd find the way. We
Oh
won an
God.
award over the holidays.
Someone hit
We
someone.
won an award.
Oh yes. I was like, where is he going with this? I was like, I haven't done nothing that bad. We did. We won an award. People thought we were average enough to give us an award.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. People voted for us for the Irish podcast, the Irish Pod Awards, and yeah, there's other criteria involved in it as well, and we got an award for that. So that was pretty cool. A pretty good way to start the year, and set goals towards the podcast. And we'll have guests back on the podcast from next week, and hoping to have a lot of different types of guests throughout the year as we had throughout 2024. We had a lot of great guests through 2024, and it's gonna be hard to beat that and build on that, but that's what we're aiming to do for this year.
I love how Irish we are. We won an award and we're like, yeah, got an
Oh, it's cool.
award.
Don't get me wrong, but that is the Irish response. You, as more traveled, as well versed as you are, you can build it up to exit this week's episode of the podcast.
We just winning the award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
In one
non-Irish answer
word.
to
Announce it like a new
that?
movie. We did. It was look, it was it's nice to be acknowledged.
Mm.
It's great to see the support we've got from so many people. To finish third in a category with a lot of strong Irish podcasts is excellent, considering we didn't actually really want to be awarded. We didn't do this to be like we're gonna win an award. We filled out an application as a sure, we'll see what happens. We'll get there in 2 or 3 years. But because of people's support, the thousands of people who listen every week, which still scares the life out of us, it is nice to be accredited. It's nice that we can bring something to people. We don't know what magic formula we have put together, but it seems to be working, and we're very privileged for the guests we have on. And I think the award is not to us. The award is for everyone out there who never wins a marathon but takes part. And that's what we proved. We mightn't be the podcast that wins, but we are consistent. We are here every Monday. We're here to support Irish business. We're here to support Irish athletes who are doing the best they can in Irish businesses and ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We are nominated for one other large award, which you can still vote for us for. The link will be in the show notes. I think it's based out of the UK, I think, but we are in with some very big productions. We got shortlisted, which is amazing, but we are in with some very big productions. So please, if you are listening, take the 2 minutes to go on. You just have to register your email address, I think, and you can vote for us in the health and fitness category, and we'll link that in the show notes. But I think it closes on the 13th of January, Sean.
13th of January,
So
yep.
please do. Let's see if we can improve on third. But if you do take the time, please do go and vote for us in that one. It's nice to be accredited. It was a nice way to cap off a year for us and give us the motivation to keep going for the year ahead. If you do know anybody in your area, any local heroes who are like us when they win an award, they just play it down, but they deserve to be on the podcast and share their story. By all means, get in touch with us on Instagram, and we are more than happy to look into the guests as we move on through the year ahead.
And with that said, that's this week's episode of the Any Given Monday podcast from myself and Eric. Happy New Year. Take care.